Before we begin our general analysis, I consider my last two analyses to be successful. In particular, I made some nice profits in Bitcoin. If there are any of you who followed along and profited with me, I congratulate you as well. I'm experiencing the joy of analyzing events for you in advance. It's worth mentioning again, a large part of our analysis focuses on hashrate Bitcoin. I don't place much emphasis on ETH or other altcoins. In the previous analysis, I was expecting USDT. Due to first drop to 4.97 and then to around 450. We can say that the 4.97 level was successfully reached. As of the time we're writing this analysis, we still consider the possibility of the 4.50 level being hit. This points to an area of approximately 92,500 and 94,000 liquidation level for Bitcoin. However, if we don't see these levels this week, I don't think we'll see them afterward either, at least not in the short term, that's what I can say. When we look at Bitcoin's current price, the fact that the price remains above 87,000 indicates that it still has the potential to target the 92,500 level this week. However, if this expectation does not materialize this week and the price continues to stay below 87,000, I believe Bitcoin will experience the next wave of decline. This analysis is somewhat more long-term in nature, 3 or 4 months. Therefore, I don't expect the anticipated targets to be reached quickly. Of course, there will be volatility and ups and downs in price movements along the way, but as our ultimate target, I first expect a drop to the 65,000 level, and if the price fails to hold there, a further decline to 45,000. Naturally, I will provide updates during these price movements. I will continue to share information here during potential intermediate rising periods. My general psychological market commentary. I generally don't comment much on altcoins, but when we consider my expectations for hashrate Bitcoin and the current state of altcoins, many altcoins have almost dropped to zero. Major altcoins are also at poor price levels. For Bitcoin, we have a 3-4 month period ahead of us. In this period, it wouldn't be surprising to see some altcoins experience further rises. If my predictions are correct and others share the same view, they'll need to create mini rallies or similar upward movements to sell to others. However, there's an important factor here. The BNB chain. In my opinion, CZ Binance wants to attract more investors to both BNB and the BNB chain before the Bitcoin price decline. Recently, there have been major events on the BNB chain and significant incentives for new coins. However, considering that Binance recently received a $2 billion investment, the $100 million incentive offered on the BNB chain doesn't seem that substantial. In my view, CZ's plan is to gather all investors into BNB and the BNB chain before the price drop. This way, as always, CZ will be the biggest winner of this price decline. If you examine the last 10 projects on Binance Launch Pool and consider their common price movements, I'm sure you'll understand what I mean. Additionally, an important reminder. This doesn't mean everything will disappear completely. Of course, during this period, the market dynamics will play out and there will be coins that experience significant hype to keep people engaged.